Coming up here on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, Chase Sr. here with you. Big matchup between the Eagles and the Giants at Lincoln Financial Field. The Birds going to be rocking the Kelly Green Threads. My keys to the game, top matchups to watch, and my prediction for this game. And let's begin here. Really does just set the foundation for what to expect from this Giants team. Just taking a look at how they stack up on both sides of the rock. On offense, they've been a lot better with Jackson Dart. With Russell Wilson, this offense was bad outside of that Cowboys game, and so the number's a little bit skewed. But the Giants, 18th in points per game on offense at 21.9, 17th in yards per game at 336.6, not a bad number by any means. 22nd in yards per play at 5.1, 15th on third downs at 39.5%. Not a good red zone offense. Number 26 there with a red zone touchdown scoring percentage of 45.8. On defense, New York hasn't been as good as probably what you would have anticipated with one of the top defensive lines in football. Number 23 in points per game at 25.3, 29th in yards per game given up, 26th in yards per play, 15th on third downs, 22nd in the red zone. This is why a lot of Giants fans, including our Giants Now host, Marshall Green, wants defensive coordinator Shane Bowen fired, but Brian Daboll did say going into this game that's not in the plans. How the Eagles stack up. We certainly saw a better performance from Philadelphia against the Minnesota Vikings. Number 2 passing defense. Jalen Hurts shredded them. One of the top overall defenses in the league. A great defensive coordinator. And Philadelphia hopefully found their stride on offense. 14th in points per game at 24.3. 26th in yards per game. Only 286.9. Got to get better there. 24th in yards per play. 27th on third downs. Number 1, though, still in red zone touchdown scoring percentage. On defense, they've been really good in the red zone, and they were awesome against Minnesota, and that's why Philadelphia, with a 43.4 red zone touchdown scoring percentage on defense, that's third among the 32 teams in the league, 20th in points per game, 23rd in yards per game, 20th in yards per play, 26 on third downs. Got to do a better job of getting off the field and not allowing the opposition to move the chains. And so with that, we segue here. My keys to the game. I've got 5 of them, as I always do for every single Eagles ball game. I want to see this Eagles offense keep it going. For the first time all year, they finally put together a full 4-quarter ball game, and they were led by Jalen Hurts, who was absolutely sensational against Minnesota. The number 2 passing defense in the NFL and one of the best units defensively across the league. Hurts was phenomenal, and really, there was only one true incompletion. It was the ball that he threw behind A.J. Brown. Other than that, either drops, mistimed jumps, or throwaways. 19 to 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a quarterback rating, perfect, 158.3. He was surgical against Minnesota, and he deserved that scream after that game, as you can see with that photo on your screen. And a big reason why Hurts was phenomenal, his star wide receivers played like stars. And you saw why on Sunday. This is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL when this offense is clicking. A.J. Brown, 4 catches for 121, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, a career game for him, caught 9 of his 11 targets for a $183, 20.3 yards per catch, and a touchdown. And can you imagine what this Eagles offense can look like if they build off of that performance and they get Saquon Barkley and the ground game going? And I don't think it's because Saquon is tired from last year or he's lacking explosiveness, speed. The agility is still there. The jump cut explosiveness is still there. But the offensive line has not been good this year, especially along the interior. And if the Eagles are without Cam Jurgens, obviously that hurts them. I would personally start Drew Kendall, the rookie, instead of Brett Toth, but the Eagles have trust in Toth. Saquon did say, though, what he needs to do a better job of is stopping his negative runs. And sometimes that's because Saquon, who hasn't gotten going this year, hasn't had more than 100 scrimmage yards in a game, is looking for the home run. He's looking for the chunk play. And I think what Saquon needs to do is just take what the defense gives him. Take what is there. If it's a 2 or 3 yard pickup, that's fine. Because you keep picking those types of runs up, that home run is going to hit at some point. And the Eagles have an opportunity to get this ground game going. Now, in the previous matchup on Thursday between the Eagles and the Giants back in week 6, you saw back-to-back plays. Saquon have successful runs, some of his best runs of the season. After that, though, the Eagles fell behind, and they couldn't get the ground game going. And they put themselves in a spot where they are very predictable. But if they can dictate the flow and the complexion of this game, they can find success on the ground. The Giants' run defense is not good. They're 30th in yards per carry given up at 5.2, 25th in rushing yards per game, and they give up nearly a touchdown and a half on the ground per game, which ranks 25th. And why I say it's more the offensive line compared to Saquon being washed, these numbers back that up. Yards before contact per attempt. When Saquon ran for more than 2,000 yards last year, his rushing yards before contact, 3.8. It is down a full 2 yards this year at 1.8. So often he is getting hit at the line of scrimmage or behind it. And then his yards before contact total last year and this year, he ran for 2,005 yards in the regular season. His yards before contact, 1,328. It's an insane number. This year, though, it's only 205 to 369 yards total. There really hasn't been a lot there for Saquon. Hopefully that changes against his former team. Key to the game number 2. It was so shocking to me to see an Eagles defense that was physical in 2024, that tackled so well, that put their stamp on games with their aggression and their physicality in 2024, which is why partially they were the number 1 defense, get bulldozed and bullied by the Giants and Cam Skattebo. The Eagles in this game can't let Scat bully them. And when he does that, it brings the rest of the team into the game, and it brings them alive. And Cam Skattebo, I loved him in the pre-draft, loved him at Arizona State. His story, pretty fascinating. He goes from Sacramento State to Arizona State. What he did in the college football playoff against that Texas defense was sensational, running it, catching it, and throwing it. And this year, keep in mind, he didn't start the year as the starter. His carries to start the season were a little bit limited. So he's played in all 7 games, but he's been the starter the last few, and he's been great. 98 carries, 398 yards, 4.1 per carry. He can also catch it. 23 catches for 189. He didn't really do that a lot against the Eagles in the previous matchup, but you have to be cognizant of that. And he loves to play bully ball. And he's been one of the top running backs in the game at picking up yards after contact. He has 165 yards after contact this year, number 7 in the NFL. And his yards after contact per attempt is 1.7 yards. That's number 6. Key to the game number 3. Jackson Dart loves to extend plays. He has great pocket awareness, a great pocket feel, and he does a great job of either climbing the pocket or when he senses that the pocket is starting to break down, he can find these running lanes and navigate within the pocket while keeping his eyes up to make throws downfield. Or if nothing is there, he's very dangerous with his legs. I was at the NFL Combine back in February into March in Indianapolis, and he compared his game and said he models it after Jalen Hurts. You see some similarities, right? They're not Lamar Jackson fast, but they're decisive runners. They're very strong runners, and they do a good job of being able to improvise. And the Eagles, in that first matchup against the Giants, didn't really have good pass rush lane discipline. They didn't really contain Dart within the pocket, and sometimes they got to him, but they couldn't bring him down. And all of those reasons were reasons why the Eagles got cooked on third downs. The Giants went 11 of 16, and a big reason for that, Jackson Dart. In his 4 starts this year, the completion rate, 60.2%. He probably is throwing to the worst wide receiver room in football without Malik Neighbors, but he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit. 7 touchdowns, 3 picks through the air, a quarterback rating of 89.3, and he has 178 rushing yards. This guy is going to be a force and a threat inside the NFC East for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. Jaden Daniels is too, obviously, but you worry about his frame and how small he is. Dart is built a little bit better to be more durable. For Jalen Hurts, show Jackson Dart, who idolizes you, what's up. Jackson Dart outplayed Jalen Hurts a couple of weeks ago. Can't happen again. Now, the conversations around Jalen Hurts have been fascinating really throughout his entire career. People think that he's carried, that he can't throw, and then he goes out against Minnesota, and he has maybe the best game that any quarterback has had in the NFL this year, and people still come up with excuses for why he's not a legitimate quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, and his numbers since week 3 have been really good. But against the Giants, he was not good, and he has to respond from that performance. Since week 3, here's where he ranks among all quarterbacks in the NFL. He is 3rd in touchdown to interception ratio at 11-1, making really good decisions with the football. He has 16 touchdowns and 1 pick this year. He's 4th in offensive touchdowns total with 13, 4th in passing touchdowns with 11. People tell me that he can't throw. He's 4th in yards per attempt at 8.3, 5th in offensive yards, 5th in passing yards, 5th in passer rating, and he has the highest passer rating in Eagles franchise history through 7 games at 108.9. He responded well against Minnesota coming off that bad Giants game. It's time for him to respond against this Giants team. An adjustment that I really liked in that Minnesota game was the Eagles lining Jalen Hurts up under center. And this opens up a couple of things. It opens up the pass game with the 3, 5, and 7-step drops. It opens up the running game because it makes you more difficult to defend. And it opens up the play action. And especially the play action component of this is a huge reason why the Eagles were able to find success through the air against Minnesota. And going into that Vikings game, prior to it, the Eagles had only called 5 play action passes under center all year. Eagles called 4 against Minnesota. And Hurts carved up the Vikings. He was 4 for 4 for 121 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown came on the 79-yard deep shot to Devontae Smith. I want to see Kevin Patullo continue to call plays with Jalen Hurts under center, doing all of the things that I mentioned. All of the different dropbacks, the play action, the deep shots, and the run game. So predict the score between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't wait for this one. I want you to predict the score down in the comment section right now. And when I think of this game, I picked the Eagles to put belt to ass against the Giants a few Thursdays ago, and I was wrong. But I think the Eagles found something against Minnesota, and I think the Eagles do win this game 30-26. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think this Giants team is highly competitive. They've got some swagger, confidence, and physicality to them. Eagles win by 4.